holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 9th day of May 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. Again, the roads of the Cayman Islands, extremely dangerous. It is good also to note that an announcement was made that the speed limit has changed in the Frank Sound area from Seaview Drive to the Botanic Park, which was a 50 mile an hour zone. That has now been changed to a 40 mile per hour zone, and extremely grateful for that. There had been many comments in relation to the speed in that area, considering that it is a residential area as well. So it is good to know that that change has been made. So again, please be extremely cautious out there. Try to drive defensively. Hopefully we will see with the new administration, we will see some changes as far as our traffic laws and traffic enforcement is concerned as well. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a belated one, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-out is brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. All you have to do is visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We do hope and trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And of course, we want to give a big shout out again this morning to our own DJ Lynn and also Mr. Joel Wilson. Speedy recovery for them. Good to know that they're back home. Pleasure to see DJ Lynn a few days ago as well. Let's look at some of the birthdays coming up. We see we've been asked to send out happy birthday greetings to Lindell Borden Wood. So happy birthday to Lindell Borden Wood. We also see that our good friend, Mr. Belika Samamba, he will be celebrating his birthday on next week, but we can give him an early birthday shout out next week. Tuesday, the 13th of May, he will be celebrating his birthday. Stefan Johnson will be celebrating his birthday on the 15th. And our good friend, cyclist, next week, Friday, a week from today, Mr. Wade Tomasa will be celebrating his birthday. Then on the 17th of May, Peter Larder, old veteran of the Cayman Islands, worked here. Great friend of cycling, helped to introduce cycling in the Cayman Islands and also to bring the late Tate Gray to the Cayman Islands. He, along with Mr. Bobby Nunez. Celine Mackin, another cyclist, she's celebrating her birthday on the 18th of May. Risa Goldberg, another cyclist, she will be celebrating her birthday on the 23rd of May as well. So we have many, many May birthdays coming up. The earliest one, Tuesday the 13th, Belika Samamba celebrating his birthday as well. Folks, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us so that we can give them a birthday shout out right here on For the Record. And of course, the birthday shout outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum, where daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. And we repeat one more time, also happy birthday greetings going out to Lindell Borden Wood. Okay, let's see what we have as far as government releases are concerned for today. Yesterday, the government released news with a photo caption. Premier Honorable André Ebanks and the United Kingdom Minister of State for the Overseas Territories in the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, Honorable Stephen Doughty, they virtually met for an initial discussion yesterday morning, Thursday, the 8th of May. Also joining in the discussion was Her Excellency Governor Jane Owen as well. That it is customary for the Minister with responsibility for the overseas territory to converse with our new leader, our new Premier, and we hope and we trust that that went well. Other than the release, we haven't been provided with any details of that. And we look forward to maybe more will be shared at a later date with us as well. Meanwhile, let's bear in mind the bulk waste pickup as well. It has moved to Georgetown, and the Department of Environmental Health has also issued a media release that says that as the first week of this year's bulk waste collection schedule concludes, DEH solid waste teams are moving from West Bay to the Georgetown district from Monday, the 12th of May, dedicating an entire week to the massive cleanup exercise in this area. Our efforts during the second week of bulk waste collection are taking us to Georgetown. Do not wait until the last day to get ready. Prepare, separate, and place your bulky items on the curbside, ensuring easy access for our crew members. Remember, we are coming to you. And those are the words of Mr. Richard Sims, who is the director of the Department of Environmental Health. The department is also reminding West Bay residents that Saturday, May 10th, is the last day for collection in their area. No additional bulk waste must be placed. Folks, this is extremely, extremely important. No additional bulk waste must be placed, as it will be considered littering or illegal dumping, which can result in a penalty of 6 months of imprisonment and a minimum fine of $500. So the 10th of May is the last day for collection. That is tomorrow, Saturday, the 10th of May, the last day for collection in West Bay. So if you have any bulk waste, put it out before tomorrow. Otherwise, it will not be picked up after. It will be classified as littering or illegal dumping, which could subject you to imprisonment, 6 months imprisonment, or a fine of $500. We know some of you will probably not have any difficulty finding the $500, but the 6-month imprisonment may be a little bit more challenging, as well. So remember now also Georgetown collection will start on the 12th of May and it will run through the 17th of May, and then in Bordentown it will commence on the 19th and end on the 24th of May. North Side and East End, May 26th to the 31st, and then, of course, over in the Brack, it will be on the East Side, May 26th to 27th, West Side, May 28th to 29th, and the South Side, May 30th as well. For Little Cayman, all locations will be on the 28th of May. And they also remind you that bulk waste refers to large items such as old furniture, tires, and metal items that are not collected as part of the DEH's weekly residential pickup service. Metal and vegetative matter must be separated from other bulk waste items. Meanwhile, construction and demolition debris, hazardous materials, electronics, and tires will not be collected during the bulk waste removal activity. Alternative arrangements must be made to transport these materials to the Georgetown landfill or the landfill drop-off facility at the gate, which remains accessible to the public and small vehicles 24 hours per day as well. With that, we're going to take our first commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Samuel Osbert Bertie Ebanks, Certificate of Honor, JP, 1909 through 1996. Bertie Ebanks, like most of his contemporaries, started his working life as a seaman. Early in his career, he survived the sinking of the Vita Louise, on which he was an engineer. He became the Cayman Islands' first public health officer and sanitary inspector. Among his accomplishments were his insistence on sanitary disposal of household wastes and the immunization of the entire population against diphtheria and polio. With a budget of only £500, he eradicated the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which carries yellow fever, a feat that still baffles experts. Mr. Bertie served in the Assembly of Justices and Vestrymen as an elected member for West Bay from 1934 to 1942 and as a Justice of Peace from 1946 to 1959. He established the 4-H Club, the West Bay Cooperative Fishermen's Society, and the West Bay Reading Society and wrote a book, Cayman Emerges. In 1930, he organized the Bosun Bay Sunday School, which was the forerunner of the Bosun Bay Presbyterian Church. He was awarded the Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honor in 1976 in recognition of services rendered to his country.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Ready for some real magic this summer? Coca-Cola is giving your family the chance to win a trip to the happiest place on earth, Disney World, Orlando. Just buy any 8-pack of Coca-Cola or Sprite products at participating stores island-wide for your chance to make this summer even more magical. Imagine the laughter, the memories, the adventure, all with an ice-cold Coca-Cola in hand. Coca-Cola, real magic is just a sip away.
Hey Cayman parents, we get it. You're underslept, over-trafficked, you can barely find your sanity in the morning because you're still trying to find your kids' shoes and lunch boxes. Let Yum take some of the stress away. Every day, over 3,000 students enjoy delicious, nutritious meals from Yum. Over 5 million lunches served and counting. Private school parents, browse the Yum Cayman app and order up to a month in advance or last minute by 12 a.m. the night before. Government school students, just drop by the Yum canteen. No pre-orders needed. Yum can't help you find your sanity, but we can sure make your mornings just a bit easier. Check out daily menus at myschoolpos.com or visit yumcayman.ky to learn more.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, but if you're planning on calling in, we have about 8 minutes before we're going to return to our 8 o'clock news. So I would suggest that you may want to hold off on that call until after the 8 o'clock news. Meanwhile, we see an article in the Cayman Compass that speaks about the Cayman Islands being the best overseas territory on beneficial ownership register. And rather than share the article with you, I'm going to go to the link, Transparency International, UK, and what they've said about it, and share that article with you instead. But I'm giving credit to the Compass because that is where I first picked up the news that this had been issued by Transparency International. So, it starts by saying, when is a deadline not a deadline? When it passes without consequences is the answer. The UK's offshore financial centres may be forgiven for reaching this conclusion. For years, they have ducked and dodged key milestones for opening up their corporate registries to public scrutiny. Anguilla, Bermuda, the British Virgin Islands, and the Turks and Caicos Islands have just missed yet another one. Missing this delivery date indicates this issue isn't being prioritized enough by many of the overseas territories. However, they still have an opportunity to prove their commitment for tackling financial crimes before the June, when these transparency registers are due to go live. I think it's the end of June. Since the general election last year, Minister Stephen Doughty has sought to reset relations with these governments and agree new deadlines through mutual consent following their 2024 Joint Ministerial Council meeting with the UK in London. The premiers of Anguilla, Bermuda, the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, and the Turks and Caicos Islands pledged to have the new laws enabling greater access to beneficial ownership information in their jurisdictions passed through their legislatures by April of 2025. Now we are in May. Transparency International UK has conducted a quick review of whether these jurisdictions have lived up to their word. Our initial review found that as of the 1st of May 2025, only one out of the 5 overseas territories making a commitment at the 2024 Joint Ministerial Council, the Cayman Islands, have delivered enabling legislation for the introduction of legitimate interest registers. This includes some of the UK's largest offshore financial centres, including the British Virgin Islands and Bermuda. The brief assessment only considers whether legislation or regulations have been introduced, rather than whether these meet international standards for beneficial ownership transparency. I will read that again. I will repeat that. It says, this brief assessment, that is by Transparency International, right? This brief assessment only considers whether legislation or regulations have been introduced, rather than whether these meet international standards for beneficial ownership transparency. Where possible, we provide elementary comments on their proposal, but we will be publishing a more substantive assessment later in the year. For now, here's a quick review of the current state of play. They talk about the British Virgin Islands, but we're going to go to the so it says British Virgin Islands dateline missed. Cayman Islands dateline met. The Cayman Islands have continued to position themselves as one of the earlier movers towards corporate transparency, delivering both primary and secondary legislation for increased public access to this information before the April deadline. Despite some serious flaws in their proposed approach and seemingly little change between their draft proposals and final law, their register is up and running. The registrar will charge those requesting beneficial ownership filings $30 if it relates to just one company, or $100 if what is being sought relates to more than one company. Contrary to the EU's 6th anti-money laundering directive, NGOs and journalists investigating money laundering would need to apply on a case-by-case basis, explaining why they have an interest in a particular company when making a request, which would likely need them to know who owns a company in the first place, undermining the registry's utility. Any companies controlled by trusts will also be able to dodge disclosing their beneficiaries, instead merely providing details of the trustee. We are in the process of making some requests to see how this system works in practice based on the laws in place. This looks like it will be an expensive way of confirming information already known and hitting some data ends created by trust structure. So that's what they said about the Cayman Islands. Just want to say, add my comments. Of course, it costs us to put this in place to do so. So why shouldn't we at least have some cost recovery measures where we get some money back for the work that government has to put into it when these requests are made? Just my comments, because we have reached the top of the hour. We will go to the 8 o'clock news. For the record, will continue immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you so much, Mr. Connor. Radio Cayman time check just 10 seconds away from 8 o'clock. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
Wow, look at that mom over there.
Ugh, she's mothering so hard.
And she makes it look so easy.
So easy. Work it, Mama!
What are you guys doing?
We're giving moms in our community some well-deserved praise.
You go, girl! You know, you could just go to Foster's.
Foster's?
Yeah, Foster's is made for moms. Floral arrangements? Got them. Sweet treats? Absolutely. Gifts that'll make her smile? All right there. This Mother's Day, make it special so you can stop doing whatever this is.
Foster's is serving with this.
They're always stunning.
Foster's, celebrating moms because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The National Roads Authority has published the revised environmental statement for the East-West Arterial after January's public consultation. The draft presented a plan to construct the new road over the span of several decades, with estimated construction and maintenance costs of nearly $899 million, along with an additional $17 million for associated rights of way. The cost of the project was a major issue flagged by residents during the public consultation period. The final ES, available online at CaymanRoads.com, includes additional conceptual design options to, quote, balance initial construction costs, storm resiliency, and long-term maintenance expenditures to reduce the projected estimated cost of the project while fulfilling design standards, safety requirements, and environmental protection goals. There are now 3 designs in the final document: excellent fit, good, and acceptable. Good and acceptable, quote, still satisfy the project's critical success factors, but include cost-saving measures. The excellent fit is designed to be resilient to a 50-year storm event, but it comes with the highest price tag. The good fit will be resilient to a 25-year storm event with box culverts instead of bridges, therefore coming with cost savings, while the acceptable fit with the most significant cost savings has smaller box culverts and drainage pipes more frequently placed along its length, and it's still resilient to storms of lesser strength. To compare costs, the excellent fit is looking at a price tag of $899 million, while the acceptable fit is estimated to cost about $483 million. Right now, Bontown Road is basically the only road that gets folks out to East End and North Side, and it's vulnerable to severe traffic congestion. The proposed project extends from the east-west arterial terminus, currently under construction at Woodland Agricola Drive, continuing to Frank Sound Road, spanning about 8 miles. Cayman meets with United Kingdom as the country welcomes a new administration. CIGTV's Lavita Thompson reports.
Premier Honourable André Ebanks held a virtual meeting with United Kingdom Minister of State, the Honourable Stephen Doughty, as part of the new government's orientation. The Cayman Islands maintains a strong working relationship with the United Kingdom, having served as the chair of the UK Overseas Territories Association in 2024. Premier Ebanks also has first-hand experience with UK relations as former Cayman Islands representative to UK and Europe. It is anticipated that the Cayman Islands will be represented at the next meeting of the Joint Ministerial Council later this year, where Minister Doughty and senior government leaders from Cayman and other UK overseas territories will convene in person.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. Pope Leo has delivered his first homily as pontiff. He told cardinals that he hopes his election will help the Church illuminate what he called the dark nights of this world. He said the Church should identify itself through the holiness of its members, not the grandeur of its buildings. President Putin, at a parade to mark the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany, has sought to link the Second World War to Russia's current war with Ukraine. The presidents of China and Brazil attended the event in Moscow, along with other leaders. Ministers from almost 20 European countries have thrown their support behind a special tribunal to prosecute Vladimir Putin for aggression against Ukraine. President Zelensky told the meeting in Lviv, a strong tribunal can and must make any potential aggressor think twice. Ukraine says it's uncovered a plot by Hungary to spy on its border military defences. Hungary's foreign minister has dismissed the Ukrainian allegations as propaganda. The authorities in India have suspended the IPL cricket tournament for a week because of growing military tension with Pakistan. The Indian Premier League is one of the world's richest sports championships. Official Chinese data showed that the country's exports rose faster than expected in April, despite the tariff war with the United States. Analysts say the rise of just over 8% indicates that China is successfully rerouting trade. The US ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, has confirmed that a new mechanism for providing food and other aid inside Gaza through private companies is being prepared as Israel's blockade continues. And a court in northern England has found 2 men guilty of deliberate and mindless criminal damage for cutting down one of the country's best-loved trees. Daniel Graham and Adam Carruthers filmed themselves taking a chainsaw to the Sycamore Gap tree by the Roman-era Hadrian's Wall. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Once again, good morning, my friends. Let's take a look at your present weather. Nice and sunny conditions on the outside. Present temperature 81 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like 89 right now or warmer. Winds are out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Relative humidity 83%. Barometric pressure at 29.91 inches and falling in. Light to moderate easterly winds and slight seas are expected to persist through the next 24 hours as a weak ridge of high pressure remains across the northern Caribbean. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies, 20% chances of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index near 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Later tonight, mainly fair skies, less than 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall near the upper 70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. High tide came in at last hour at 7:29. It's going to be low at 1:57 this afternoon. High at 8:41 tonight. And the outlook is for similar weather conditions through Monday morning. So we're going to have ourselves a nice sunny weekend. Enjoy it. That's your latest weather.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, sight screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years. The 24th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 29th at the Hawkwill Theatre. Awesome performances by actress Caitlin Tyson, Erica Asai, Rico Rolando, Jade Dixon, Williams Quartet, Dequan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Cayman Music School, Radiance Dance Studio, Centerpoint Dance Studio, John Gray Elite Strings, Lloyd Barker, Ola Jimmy LaPierre, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid and $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. June 29th at the Hawkwill Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Foundation Educational Development Training Program of the Arts.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, once again, good Friday morning to you. Looking at the east-west arterial, the traffic has eased up there. Same at the Red Bay roundabout. But of course, getting to the Century 21 roundabout, still running into some slow-moving traffic as you continue on, heading on to the Linford Pearson and Crew Road, and of course, running into traffic as you slowly make your way into the Georgetown area. Similar traffic going through South Sound, slow-moving traffic turning on to Walker's Road. You'll run into that traffic as well, and similar through South Church Street up to Seafarers Way. Got one cruise ship in port, so we'll have visitors ashore moving about. Looking at Crew Road, heading towards the airport, getting past the airport runway, trying to head on to Shedden Road. You'll run into some traffic as well. Roberts Drive, still clear. Dorsey Drive will see some traffic heading up to North Sound Road and continuing to the Butterfield roundabout, where you see the usual traffic in that area. The four-way stop, traffic intersection, Bobby Thompson Way, seeing some traffic similar with onto the Linford Pearson, and slow-moving traffic onto Huldah Avenue, getting to the C&B roundabout and dispersing through inside Georgetown area. Eastern Avenue, Shedden Road, seeing some light traffic, some pedestrian movement. And of course, all that traffic dissipates as the morning progresses. West Bay Road is fair to find, looking out from the Ritz-Carlton, similar with the Esley Tibbetts, onto Butterfield roundabout. Traffic coming out of West Bay, not too bad at all. Heading to the Eastern Districts, got your light traffic as you make your way eastward bound. And Cayman Brack and Little Cayman, light traffic this time in the morning. Buckle up and stay safe, my friends, and enjoy the weekend when it comes. Your traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Water Authority of Cayman wishes to advise the motoring public of roadworks planned in Newlands, Bodentown. To facilitate water infrastructure work, there will be a partial road closure along Royal Palm Drive from Wednesday, 7th of May to Friday, 16th of May, between the hours of 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. During the work, traffic will be diverted into a single lane. Signs will be placed to direct traffic, and all motorists are asked to drive cautiously to ensure the safety and that of the Water Authority staff. The Water Authority appreciates the public's patience and understanding and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Phone lines are open. I saw on a WhatsApp group the fact that there may have been an accident somewhere in the vicinity of Tim Horton, heading towards town, heading west. Not sure if that situation is still the same or whether or not traffic is cleared. So if you're experiencing additional delays this morning, that could be the reason why. Meanwhile, let's look at some more birthdays. I want to thank our own Miss Susan Watson for sharing those with us, even though she's off today. So we see Malcolm Eden will be celebrating his birthday on Sunday the 11th. Also Mr. Archie Whitaker will be celebrating his birthday on the 11th. Today, the 9th, Tamara Hurlston will be celebrating her birthday as well. So just happy to add those additional ones. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Okay, right. In none of the talk, I mean referendum talk. I got a new referendum now. Yeah, I just got some referendum in my head. So, I just listened to you talking about the finance section, right, our financial sector.
Mm-hmm.
You said that we complied so quick. All the time we do that. And it costs in our government, our people in Cayman Islands, millions every time we do it in salary for our people, right? Good. Now, I campaign, because I heard this from the 80s. If we were getting 0.5% or 1%, that would cover all of them expenses. And I want you to ask something. I wasn't sure, but I know Bermuda, I think, I'm asking for 0.5% or 1%. I think Bermuda is doing like 12% of all the money they go through there, because Bermuda, look at the Bermuda and say, if I ain't getting nothing, why I can make you go through my yard with security? So I would like you, OC, to check up and see how much they're charging, and ask all our brilliant politicians that.
When you say how much they're charging, you mean in terms of what transactions?
Any money that go through there.
Okay.
Any money that go through.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a financial service they're doing, right?
Yes. But Bermuda's involved in financial services, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So look here now. That's where Honest and Young and all the young people make their money from. Appleby, the lawyer, Honest and Young, the accountant, Deloitte and Touch and all them, Walk and all those big companies, right?
Yeah, and all of those trading companies in the U.S., whenever a transaction is completed, they charge a fee for a trading transaction. You saw the other day where they talk about Trump and the digital coins and stuff like that, and they're making so much money just simply by the transaction. So if you decide that you're going to sell today or you're going to buy today, you pay, for that service, the person who's going to do that transaction for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. Oh, see, tell me something. Why it is that our politicians not got the balls, or they don't want to do it, but you know what? They will let the banks take $5 off a poor nigga for changing the tax. But billions and billions and billions going through every month. And the Cayman Islands not getting nothing about it. And it's a shame. And it should change. Oh, see? Thank you very much, and look up. And I want to hear from our elected representatives on this, because we got them there that know exactly what is taking place in our little country. Mm-hmm. See, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. If we have another caller, let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. How are you now? I thought you were still firing off fireworks. I hadn't heard from you in a while.
I've been doing a lot of that. And looking forward to doing some more now that I'm so, after listening to to the interview with Tammy and the premier and the deputy premier. I listened to an interview they had, and I'm feeling very, very optimistic.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm feeling very optimistic. Concerning my good friend in the Black call just now, his conversation, I think, I had that idea before. I mentioned that to one of my more learning friends that is in the financial area, and they told me that would be kind of not possible because they I think they told me that the money is not physically in Cayman.
Right, but the transaction has to be registered, just like the digital assets, as well. They don't really exist per se,
Right. Well, that's what he was saying to me. I don't know whether because he works with a major financial firm where he brushed it off like that, but basically that's what he told me, that the money not physically in Cayman for us to be able to tax it. But I thought by the transaction, he said not like monogram where the money is actually transferred from hand to hand.
Right. But I wouldn't expect any company in financial services to tell the government how they are making their money, because if they sit in their offices and they have to do whatever it is in terms of transferring funds, even if it's just done digitally, right? You could still tax that if you knew what they were doing, right? So they're not going to tell you, because their argument has always been, right, that if you raise the fees on us, if you charge us more, we have to charge our clients more. Wherein they're already charging their clients, but they're getting the lion's share of it, and they get even more if they don't have to pay the government anything out of it. And I'm sure that, those persons who are no longer in the financial services and have retired will unless they have some non-disclosure agreement, would tell you how it could be done.
Well, I guess that's why we should get some of those kind of people to run in the government. Yeah, because they must be making a lot of money that people can go home. Partners can go home with $3 and $4 and $5 million a year,
and retire at 45. Retire at 45 years of age.
45 years old. So yeah, there's a lot of money. Good idea from Elvis. There's a lot of money to be made out there, but we need to be able to know how to do it, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing, Lord Graham, is that most of them, or many of their transactions, they're dealing with institutions, not individuals. So it's not like, like you go to a lawyer or an accountant and say, well, I'd like you to do this for me. And they say, well, the fees have gone up this year, so it's going to cost you $500 or $1,000 more. And you say, well, I wonder if I should really do this or not. You're dealing with institutions like pension funds and all trusts and all sorts of things where they're going to pay it because they have to get it done. That's why those people out there in the financial industry, they're getting rich, while the poorer amongst us are getting poorer and poorer.
That is why I say, there's a lot of operation and a lot of people here in Cayman that really don't deserve the luxury that the Cayman Islands offers. Yeah, a lot of people are here, a lot of companies are here, and a lot of individuals that really don't contribute, and in that case, in my opinion, don't deserve the luxury that we offer.
Yep.
Because any other places, they would have to be paying major, and at any given time, they had to have a certain degree of respect to the natives, which now.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Lord Graham.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of people here now are so comfortable by making statements derogatory statements concerning the natives that they don't really even care now. So, a lot of them don't deserve to be here. Don't really deserve to be here, because I also heard of a group of people who are wishing that this hurricane season be very active and wipe Cayman off the map. Can you imagine? But yet go to work every day here?
Wow.
Because Caymanians think they're this, and Caymanians, no, we don't think that, because if we think that, you wouldn't be here. You would not be here if you were like other places. If you were like other places, you would not be here. So why do people come here and disrespect us?
Yep. Well, let's see. We heard a lot of talk about immigration and changes.
Well,
during the election.
And there was, I think, about 5 individuals who didn't pull no punches, and stating their opinion and what they would do about immigration.
One is one of those same gentlemen that you spoke about, being on TV, the deputy premier, very vociferous, about the issue of immigration. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very vocal. So, I'm just waiting now. OC to say, they say before the next 100 days, I think we're gonna see some changes. So we're just, I'm very optimistic and waiting to see.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. We talk to you later. We'll see you.
All right, Lord Graham. Take care. Thank you very much. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. No one there. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read this message. One message we received from one of our listeners, and it says here, good morning, Mr. Connor. As a tourism worker, I am happy to read the recent Compass article about our tourism first quarter numbers. I really hope this tourism success continues with the new government. I must say the former minister did well, bringing the tourism from nil in 2021 with COVID-19 to record breaking numbers in 2025. So let's see how long this article is. This article is pretty long, and I won't read all of it. So we'll go to our commercial break. When we return, I can share the Compass article that I believe that this individual is referring to. It says Cayman tourism could be heading towards a record-breaking 2025, written by Daphne Ewing Chow on the 8th of May, 2025 in the Compass newspaper. I will share that with you as soon as we return. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller, Paul. No calls. One of our listeners, they have expressed the gratitude of the family of the late Per Unheim. Make sure I pronounce that right. Per Unheim would like to thank the Cycling Association for all the riders who took part in the last week's ride in his honor. And that ride started at the Rubis, Peanuts Rubis on near to Grand Harbor, in the vicinity of Grand Harbor. Took the east-west arterial up to Hearst Road, then Hearst Road out to Shamrock, all the way up East End, Queens Highway, stopped at Jack's gas station, through Frank Sound and back down as well. Huge turnout as well. And I can say this much at this point in time, that you, the public of the Cayman Islands, as well as the authorities, can expect a robust response to the traffic situation and road safety in the Cayman Islands. It's going to be coming. There are lots of individuals who are concerned and who will be dedicating their time and their experience and expertise towards road safety. Yes, I think there's a road safety falls under the National Roads Authority, but sometimes public servants or civil servants are restricted in terms of what they can do and how they can do it. So sometimes operating outside of that environment, you can probably get more done. So the public should expect some collaborations and robust response to road safety in the Cayman Islands. I can say that much at this point in time. Meanwhile, so the person who spoke about the tourism, the article in the Compass, Cayman tourism could be heading towards a record break in 2025. Says Cayman tourism is on a strong upward trajectory and is on pace to match or even exceed the record-breaking performance of 2019. That would have been before COVID. In the first quarter of 2025, Cayman saw a 5.3% rise in stayover visitors compared to the same period in 2024, with standout gains of 7.7 in January and 7.1 in February. These results exceed dismal regional projections issued by the Caribbean Tourism Organization and mark a sharp year-over-year jump from 2024 when growth in stayover arrivals were a more subdued 2%. So 5.3 to 2%, or 2% to 5.3. This robust start positions Cayman to sustain its momentum through the year, raising the prospect of equaling or even surpassing its historic 2019 visitor number. To maintain its growth trajectory, Cayman must capitalize on the window created by a shifting global dynamics that have diminished the appeal of U.S. travel while also addressing travelers' heightened price sensitivity in the face of tariff hikes and looming recession concerns. Article goes on to talk about the fact that according to the Caribbean Tourism Performance Review, a regular report from the CTO, geopolitical uncertainty is expected to lead to a lower than expected 2% to 5% increase in overnight arrivals in the region in the first quarter, falling short of earlier or more optimistic forecasts. And this is a quote by Alison Shakir, the tourism organization's director of research. That is Caribbean Tourism Organization. You see, and Alaya Shakir says, due to prevailing economic uncertainties and slowdowns in major source markets during the first quarter of the year, the pace of growth is projected to be more moderate than earlier forecasts. In contrast, the Cayman Islands have seen a notable surge, which the Department of Tourism credits to targeted marketing campaigns and strengthened airline partnerships. However, news reports indicate that additional factors may also be contributing to Cayman's performance. Bloomberg reports that the Caribbean tourism numbers are being driven by competitive pricing, attractive vacation packages, and rising concerns amongst U.S. travelers that global tensions could spark quote-unquote hot tempers in certain destinations. With European hotspots increasingly overpriced, overcrowded, and affected by the anti-tourism protests that are gearing up for a second summer, a growing number of Americans are trading the Riviera and other parts of the Mediterranean for islands that are closer to home, the U.S. business publication noted in a recent article. Exclusive data shared by Bloomberg by Virtuoso reveals that the Caribbean has already logged a striking 26% increase in summer bookings as of the 10th of April compared to the same period in 2024. And there's a part here, I can finish this before we go to the call very quickly. Says here, according to the Department of Tourism, the U.S. remains Cayman's dominant source market, accounting for 83% of total arrivals. Notably, first quarter visitor numbers from the Midwest and Northeast surged 13.1% and 9.1% respectively compared to the same period in 2024. The department attributes this growth to intensified marketing efforts in late 2024 and early 2025, which included geo-targeted advertising campaigns and strategic partnerships with major airlines. Enhanced air connectivity is also said to have played a key role. JetBlue expanded its services from Boston, while American Airlines, Delta, and United boosted flight frequencies from major hubs including Dallas, Washington, D.C., Miami, and Minneapolis, St. Paul, as well. So that was good news about tourism. We hope and we trust that the new government will be magnanimous in its approach to some of the achievements that come, because while they're on board now, there may be lagging effects in terms of what actions that may have taken place earlier, and we don't actually see the results until further. But knowing Caymanians as we are, we will always give credit where credit is due as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Doing a great job there. How's everything?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are things over in your neck of the woods?
It's okay. Going along okay. I calling in to give a report on the cruise ship that is headed for Cayman Brac. Should be here be probably about 11:30. Coming from Belize. It's a very luxurious, small-sized cruise ship, 10,000 tons at 372 feet. Specialized ice break-in capabilities for out in the Antarctic, especially built for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it has side stabilizers to reduce the rolling in bad weather. Equipped with that, and got over 100 passengers. It carries 154 passengers and 122 crew, just as many crew as it is for passengers.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable, though.
Yeah, so that's coming off of Scott's Dock out here today, and is expecting to be here till 6 p.m. this evening. And they got the tents all set up for the vendors to have jewelry and stuff, handicrafts on display, and people will be there. And the arrangements for the taxis and things to take them around. So that's a good event for Cayman Brac today. I know I was talking with some of the people when the last big one came here. One person did well selling handicrafts, wood handicrafts. They told me they made like between $300 and $400.
Okay,
that was quite good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one of our local hard-working guys that prepared and did woodwork and made ornaments and things out of hardwood from the bluff, and he did well selling there, and several other people, the taxis and the school buses and things, made money from that when the last one came with about 375, I think.
Okay, that's good. How long do you expect this one to be to be in port?
Supposed to be in port till 6 p.m. this evening, and
okay.
It's going to be a much better day. It's smooth sea, is nice and calm. The tenders will launch and come in alongside Scott's Dock, and the people disembark. So I'm going to be around here most of the day watching the activities.
Okay, sounds great. If anything else occurs during the course of the day, please keep us up to speed with it as well. Look forward to it, hearing more from you.
Yes, sir, will do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you on for lunchtime?
I will be on this afternoon as well on Talk Today, yes.
Yes, and I must say we have quite a steady flow of divers coming in at the Brac Reef Beach Resort.
Mm-hmm.
They've been very bright, sometimes 5, sometimes up to 75. They can capacity. They have 80. They can hold 80 people, up to 86 people maximum at the Brac Reef Hotel. And I'm looking right now at 3 dive boats moored off the north side here. Divers in the water. We got a catamaran visiting. I just talked with a lady on that. Said she's going to spend about 2 weeks here in Cayman Brac and Grand Cayman, Little Cayman. So I told them they're visiting one of the best, safest islands in the world. Cayman Brac still is. So we need to keep it that way and let things go and keep it that way.
Okay, sounds good. Mr. Raymond, thank you. Thank you very much for that information. We have another caller on hold, but we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Cayman Art Week is back from Tuesday the 20th to Sunday the 25th of May. It's a fun-filled program of art events, pop-up exhibitions, open studios, and late opening hours at galleries and venues across all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit at your own pace or join one of our district bus tours with a new route added this year in Cayman Brac. All events are free and open to the public with art on sale for every budget. For all the latest, visit CaymanArtWeek.com.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning again, OC.
Hey, good morning again.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't know this one. I don't know if you knew it.
Nope. Remember, I have no way of knowing.
Today, boss, OC, we should be real proud, especially East End people too.
Mm-hmm.
Today, Captain McLean, which is the son of our good friend and my cousin, Darwin Buster McLean's son, nephew of Arden McLean.
Okay. Helicopter.
Will be taking command of the helicopter. Today, he will take his first command flight as a captain.
And how come no press release or anything on that?
Because he's from Cayman. You don't get it, OC. Sometimes I believe you loses it, you know.
Let me give them the benefit of the doubt and see if a press release may not have been sent out and I missed it.
Today he's taking command and flying the helicopter as a captain.
Wow, great.
Yeah, today.
It has been a long struggle, a long battle. But it goes to show you that you just have to be persistent and you will prevail.
Long time coming, like Sam Cooke said, but change gonna come.
Yes.
You know?
A change is gonna come.
Change is gonna come. So I wanted to I didn't know if you knew it.
If I had known that, I would have been shouting that out.
That's what I said. I know you would have done that. So, and I'm not sure, but, certain Caymanians, OC, don't like to put things out there, even, like it's family member and stuff like that, but I thought that...
Yeah, but our CIPS should be putting it out there.
They should have been the ones to put it out. They should have put it out there. Well, I'm putting it out that we got a Easterner. Well, Westpayer too. I can't leave that out. Gonna be in command of the helicopter, taking his first flight as a captain on the government police operated helicopter. So I know the father gonna be real proud. I know that because he always vocal about his son and flying the helicopter and kept us up to speed when he was down in Trinidad, how he was coming along and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, and I want to say congratulations to Buster, especially, and to his son, Captain McLean, for such a great achievement.
Yes, and we want to echo those sentiments right here as well on Radio Cayman. I still don't see any press release. You know me, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they were going to release it after the flight, after he took command.
Well, I need to send out a warning now to my brother. Well, we grew up like brothers, Billy up in East End.
Mm-hmm.
That we got a captain on the helicopter from East End that knows the place very well, the water, so he better stay on shore. He better stay on shore.
Billy will sue you for that. We better issue a disclaimer here on Radio Cayman.
Yeah, but now we got a good friend. Mr. Deputy Premier, Mr. Orrett. So he'll probably bail him out. All right.
Take care. We're going to grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, I'm still tired. How are you?
Oh, I'm getting over the tiredness. Actually, the first time that I really, really felt exhausted was after the swearing-in ceremony. And I believe that probably had something to do with the temperature that day. It was hot, and then we were outside in a tent and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed it. I had this was booked several weeks in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I had a doctor's appointment, so I spent the day at the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I was saying to them, can't we get this thing on the TV? I said, we have a swearing-in ceremony going on at 7, at 2 o'clock. Everywhere I go, I think people be saying, oh, God, but she going again today. What trouble she going to make? But anyway, that's important to us. So I thought the least they could do is put a TV in the waiting room, Anyway, so I don't know if I'm allowed to call names here. I'll just say it popped up on my phone, carried by someone else, and I thought it was so biased, their commentary. I refused to listen to that, and I couldn't get Radio Cayman. And I've been dogging CIG channels forever, hoping that they will replay,
It should be on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I don't like watching stuff on small screens. But anyway, before I lose my train of thought, I want to say congratulations to Darren and to his mom, Gwenda, and his dad, Buster, as we know him.
And his sister, Cherise.
Well, I was gonna get there, but I was doing it in the pecking order. And because I noticed that your previous caller mentioned his dad, but not his mom. But anyway, and she's a lovely lady. I know she's
yes.
person at the scene.
One of the nicest persons in the world.
Serving, that's right. I worked with her for a few years. Wonderful, wonderful person. And in fact, we go to the same church. So I wanted to say that first. And the other thing I wanted to say, when they were talking about tourism and that, higher numbers come from the U.S., I brought this up back in, I think, 2013. And I don't think anything has been done about it until now. I am not sure how much we pay British Airways, to come here.
I don't think we pay them anything.
Okay, well...
they're not subsidizing anyway.
Well, I didn't mean the subsidy, but I thought I'd heard the former Minister of Tourism mention something about, on his last show there with you, paying it. Because I kind of thought about it. Maybe I heard wrong. I don't know. But anyway, but I know for sure it's not happening for free. That much we know.
Okay.
But the point that I was making to the then Minister of Tourism is that that this flight comes into Grand Cayman. It does make a short stop in the Bahamas, but if you were to go online and you look for a direct flight to Grand Cayman, nothing comes up. If you narrow your search and you go on BA looking for a flight to Grand Cayman, nothing comes up.
Not even the flight that stops in Bahamas.
I'm going to get to that, please. And then when you get to Heathrow Airport, if you didn't know that you were going to Grand Cayman, you would know where to go, okay? Because nothing says Grand Cayman. It says Heathrow, Nassau.
Oh.
And I brought this up several times because it actually pains me that when that flight comes from Heathrow and stops in Nassau, that flight empties out in Nassau. When it leaves Grand Cayman and it stops in Nassau, that's where the flight also fills up, goes on to Heathrow. Of course, it's a long flight. You run into people, you talk to people. They are all Europeans. And you know what they keep saying to me? When they don't see me get off in Nassau, "But where aren't you getting off? Where?" And I say, "I'm going home." "But does this flight go somewhere?" I said, "Yes." They didn't know. Some of them have heard of the Cayman Islands, but didn't know how they could get here. Didn't know it was a direct flight. That's why they ended up going to Nassau. Some of the people in the UK, as you know, they've never heard of the Cayman Islands, even though we're one of their territories. And I'm sorry for making it so long, but the point I'm making is that there is no marketing being done, and I would say that Cayman is responsible for that. And I'm very sure that there's some money being paid out somewhere. And if that flight was being marketed along with the island, we'd get a lot more tourists out of Europe. And then they could build on that. Instead of running up and down to these places with the plane empty, losing money, perhaps they could start looking into a bigger plane going to the European gateways. Because I've been saying that for years, and I don't think it's impossible. So that's my 50 cents worth today on the tourism.
Thank you.
But, like I said, you know, we now have a new Minister of Tourism. I believe he's well-traveled. Maybe he has experienced this also. You know, the fact that we're not advertised in the UK, in England, you know, with the BA flight. And not only that, because apparently BA had some contract with American, although the flight doesn't come directly here, but it goes to Miami. And then you can connect with the flight then in Miami to come in here. So, I mean, I think some people would consider that that's close enough too. But anyway, I just thought I'd say that.
Certainly appreciate that, caller, that information as well. Maybe we'll get some, hopefully get some feedback, you know, from someone in relation to that, you know, as well. I'll try to dig into it even further myself.
Okay, and while we're on Cayman Airways and flights, or, you know, flights in general, I'm appealing once again, please make the Jamaica flights at a better time, at a more convenient time. You know, we don't need morning flights. We can do some afternoon flights. I happen to know that they pay for the gateway, and depending on the time of the day, you pay more or you pay less. But seeing that that is such a lucrative route, I think they could make it a little bit more convenient.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. We have about 1 minute before we go to our headline news. I just want to say that I saw something earlier as well, a few days ago, about Canadian tourists. And those of you who are either John-a-come-latelys or just born, not just born, but weren't familiar with this. When tourism started in the Cayman Islands, we drew many of our tourists from Canada. There were charter flights at least once a week from Canada. Lots and lots of Canadians came to the Cayman Islands in the 60s. And with the situation between the U.S. and Canada, we should be looking to capitalize on that again as well. With that, we're going to go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, the conversation will continue. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Reefs Go Live will treat you to an underwater adventure at 10 a.m. today with a live stream from the waters of Little Cayman, hosted by the Central Caribbean Marine Institute. CCMI will be sharing results of the team's Darwin Plus funded project, which mapped endangered coral species at dive sites around Little Cayman. The new Pope Leo XIV has called for the Catholic Church to, quote, desperately counter a lack of faith in his first Mass at the Vatican. Speaking the day after he was elected as the 267th Pope and the first U.S. leader of the Church, he warned that people were turning away from faith and instead to technology, money, success, power, or pleasure. Leo said he'd been elected as a, quote, faithful administrator of a church that would act as a, quote, beacon that illuminates the dark nights of this world. Vladimir Putin has led Russia's Victory Day commemorations with a parade in Red Square and heightened security after days of Ukrainian strikes targeting the capital. China's Xi Jinping joined Putin as he told thousands of soldiers and more than 20 international leaders that Russia remembered the lessons of World War II. Putin used his speech to tie the war to today's full-scale invasion of Ukraine and said all of Russia was behind what he called the, quote, special military operation, now well into its fourth year. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Before we go to the phone lines, one of our listeners has written in and said, please convey to Captain McLean on his great success. I don't know the young man, but he is one of our, in caps, our young people, and it gives me great pride and joy for his accomplishments. I pray for safety and a long and successful career as well. So this person wants us to convey their congratulations on his success. We're going to the phone lines now. We have Miss Tiffany Young on the line. Miss Tiffany, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and tell our listeners and, well, I was going to say our viewers as well, but everyone listening, because you're not in the studio, about your role and what will be happening tomorrow.
Sure. So I'm the Community Engagement Officer with Hazard Management, HMCI, and tomorrow we're going to be at A.L. Thompson. We've kicked off our Preparedness Month campaign. So last weekend we were at Uncle Bill's.
Okay.
This weekend we're at A.L. Thompson. And we're basically trying to prepare the public for the upcoming hurricane season. So at the booths, we'll have preparedness booklets on all hazards, hurricanes, and we'll also be giving some information about our national emergency notification system. So we're just encouraging everyone to come out. We should definitely be starting our preparations from now ahead of the season. And we're just offering that bit of push to get everyone started with their preparation.
Okay, 2 questions. Number one, what was the response so far from Uncle Bill's? And I want you to explain to our audience what the NENS system is all about and how it operates.
Sure. So Uncle Bill's was the kickoff for us with the season. We were very happy for the engagement that we had. People are taking the season a bit more serious. They're starting to make their preparations, even without the push. But because we have such a diverse community, it's good to get that word out for people who may not know some of our tips and tricks on how to prepare. For the NENS, which is the National Emergency Notification System, we have multiple phases. We have phase 1, which is our radio interrupt. Tomorrow we're going to be offering some information on phase 2. Phase 2 is an app that you can download, and when there's any events, emergency events, whether it be a hurricane or earthquake or something like an oil spill, an emergency alert will come through this app to alert the public.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Any other advice in terms of preparedness that you want to let people know about? This one is sort of like part of a joke, but not really a joke. Do you believe that we're going to have enough plywood in the event that we have to board up when we consider all of the plywood that was used during the elections?
That's a good joke, and funny enough, so we've been doing presentations for the past few months to businesses and schools on preparation. And one of the pieces of advice I've been giving is to incorporate these preparation actions in your weekend errands. And I've actually been mentioning the plywood. We know with Hurricane Ivan, there was actually a mad rush to board up windows. So I'm saying that when you do your weekend errands, get a piece of plywood here and there so it's not a mad rush. But thankfully, I think our building codes are quite robust, so a lot of our windows are hurricane impact rated. But yes, incorporate those little bits and pieces so we're not doing a mad rush when we're told that a storm or a hurricane is coming.
And what about food supplies and stuff, water? Any suggestions in terms of rotating what you may have had from last year, using those and then replacing them with more recent stock?
For sure. We definitely advise people to go through their supplies, see what's near expiration. It may mean that you have a corned beef weekend, but that's just part of the process. So go through the stock, see what's near expiring, and start to replace those things. Again, we want to start those preparations from now, so we don't have a mad rush before an event. Incorporate it to the weekly shopping to re-add your canned goods, batteries, anything that may be out. Do some tests. Some people incorporate walkie-talkies into their emergency supply kit. And this will be the time to start testing those things to make sure that they're working.
Okay, and we know now that in the district of Bordentown, we have that additional, that new shelter as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So our shelters team has been very busy. They've completed the shelter inspections throughout Grand Cayman. They actually did a shelter food storage cleanup. We are working to create the shelter map that's released yearly to see which shelters are going to be online. So I can't say for certain if the Bordentown Church will be online for this season, but that is the aim. So that list should be published before the hurricane season commences.
Okay, and any last minute things that you want to remind our listeners of before you leave us?
Sure. One thing that gets left out sometimes is pets. So people forget to prepare for their pets. So ensure that you're including supplies and medications for pets, supplies, medications, important documents for yourselves, cash supply, in CI and US. And one thing that we learned from Ivan, me being very young at the time, is ensure that we include entertainment for the children. Obviously, with Hurricane Ivan, we were out of power for 3 months. So in a generation that's so dependent on internet, I think it'd be good to include some entertainment for the children within that emergency supply kit.
Mm-hmm. One of our listeners has sent a WhatsApp message inquiring as to volunteers, whether or not shelter managers and volunteers for shelters are still needed, or whether you are sufficient in those areas.
We do work with DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services, on creating the shelter managers list and volunteer list. We are aiming to do a shelter management training this year prior to the season. Dates to be confirmed. The person can definitely email hmci@gov.ky, and we could look to include them potentially with collaborating with DCFS. Okay. So if they email hmci@gov.ky with their information and express their interest in becoming a shelter volunteer or shelter manager, we can definitely reach out and see how we can incorporate them.
Sounds great. And let's remind everyone about tomorrow at A.L. Thompson.
Yes, so tomorrow, Saturday, we will be at A.L. Thompson. That's hazard management. We'll also have a member of our CERT team. CERT is Community Emergency Response Team. Mm-hmm. We're just going to be preparing people. We're going to be there from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So we have information booklets. We have information on NENS, our emergency alert app. We'll have a spin wheel because we'll have a raffle. Our venues are gracious enough to donate an emergency supply kit that someone can win. Mm-hmm. So we encourage people to come engage with us, learn some tips and tricks for preparation. And while they're at it, there's a free entry to raffle so they can potentially win an emergency supply kit.
Okay. And where exactly in A.L. Thompson's will you be located?
Sure. So our table is going to be located in front of the lighting section. So as you come in the main front entrance, we're going to be right there in front of lighting.
Okay, Ms. Tiffany Young, thank you. Thank you very much for that information. And thank you and all of your colleagues at Hazard Management in terms of what you do to help to keep the Cayman Islands alert and to keep us safe as well.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's a collaborative effort to make sure that we're building a culture of resilience and readiness. Yes,
and awareness as well. But, we have a tendency to sometimes be a little bit complacent, even though I believe that after Hurricane Ivan, we all learn a lesson from it. And sometimes now maybe we become overcautious as a result of that.
Exactly.
But it's best to be prepared rather than to be underprepared and then suffer the consequences as well. So
exactly. I agree with you.
Okay, thanks for making yourself available and have a great weekend. And I'm sure that you're going to have a resounding response at A.L. Thompson's tomorrow.
Thank you so much. You take care.
Okay, Paul, we're going to take that commercial break now. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Economics and Statistics Office is currently conducting the annual business surveys until June 13th. The surveys collect information to answer questions like, how did the economy perform in 2024? In 2024, how much did foreign companies invest in the Cayman Islands? The surveys include all relevant entities that produce goods and services in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the ESO. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business. For assistance in filling out the forms or for more information, visit eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4600.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We have a caller on hold. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning to your listening audience. This is Kenneth Bryan, MP for Georgetown Central.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am not too bad, sir. Thank you so much for asking. I was listening to your show, as I always do.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
I want to say, first off, thank you to whoever that was that sent in the message in respect to the tourism numbers. I'm quite proud of success we have gotten and been able to transfer over to the new government. A good footing for the new minister to work from. But I did hear afterwards, I wasn't going to call in about that first, but I was going to call in as I heard another caller call in about some things about the airport, the British Airways, and also I think I heard at the end a comment from yourself about Air Canada, Canadian visitors.
Yeah. In the 60s, I mentioned about yeah.
So I'm gonna work backwards to hopefully give your listening audience some context to some of the comments and concerns. Canadian travelers can be very volatile because of their dollar value going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in the 60s, the Canadian dollar was really, really strong, and hence the reason, and our product was very embryonic in its early stages of tourism. So it was different then. We also had in the early 2000s a lot of Canadian workers here too, because of the fact that their dollar was weak, and a Cayman dollar was almost twice the amount for a Canadian dollar. So only when the Canadian dollar is really strong do you see a lot of high numbers of Canadian travelers. Whenever there's shifts in the market globally and their value goes down, then Cayman becomes a little more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So the Canadian market is not always stable, unlike the U.S. market, where our dollar stays with their dollar regardless. So no matter when they travel, it will always be the same and more certain. So just to give context. So, one decade will be really good for the Canadian market, and another decade, if things are not going well for their country globally, it could be really bad. So we got to think about those things in context. I want to go back now to the comment made by the amazing caller who called in about British Airways. We do market very, very heavily in the United Kingdom. It's a source market if you want to venture into a whole lot more. As you may recall, when I was Minister for Tourism and Ports, you saw where we were expanding the runway. And it's for exactly that purpose. We do not have a direct flight from Europe to the Cayman Islands. And we would like to one day in the future do that. But until you have an extended runway, you can't have that direct flight service. Just for confirmation, we do not pay British Airways any money to fly here at all. It's just a simple supply and demand principle. Cayman is a very attractive market. Matter of fact, most of their money is made off of Cayman when they come through Bahamas, because most of their front end of the plane, meaning the first class and business class, is spent coming to the Cayman Islands. As per the advertising, when you go to the airport, and I agree with the caller, sometimes you'll see on the schedule it says to Nassau. But I've also seen sometimes it says Grand Cayman via Nassau. And there's not much control we can have over how the airline displays their schedule for the flight. But the good news is that obviously if a person has already booked that flight, they would know that they're going through Bahamas to Grand Cayman. Now, a person who's passing through the airport going to some different destination, we won't get the what you call cross benefit of marketing to say, oh, I didn't know British Airways goes to Grand Cayman or the Cayman Islands because it says Nassau first. But it wouldn't be a situation where the customer who's coming to the Cayman Islands would not know that they're going via Nassau, Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it clarified some points that were called in there. Okay. In respect to the concern about flights to Jamaica and being more convenient, sometimes it may not seem very convenient, the times that are on, but you have to remember we only have a certain amount of
aircraft,
and we have to balance that out with the interest of the other flights that we have, like to Miami, to Panama, to Florida, to New York, and so forth. So I think the Cayman Airways team tried to do as much as they can in respect to balancing that, but it's never going to be perfect. And what is convenient for you as a customer may be inconvenient for somebody else. So it's a very subjective viewpoint as to what is convenient. But we try, and I say we meaning the staff and management at Cayman Airways try their endeavor best to do the balance as best as possible. But most importantly, what is profitable for the airline with the balance of what is convenient for the customer. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that put that in perspective. But just to close off, I want to say that this weekend is Mother's Day weekend. So I want to send a special happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, wishing you the best with your family. Enjoy yourself. And again, thank you to Georgetown Central for another 4 years of working with them. And I plan to come on the show next week to talk about my next steps moving forward to represent the people of Georgetown Central. But I'd rather do that in the studio. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A lot of analysis I need to go through. Like I did well. I got 750 votes. But I also want to know what areas I can improve in, because there's 346 people who didn't vote for me. And I feel a level of failure. I obviously, those persons weren't convinced that I was the person to be selected. And that means I have room for improvement. I want to sit with them. I want to get to know them. I'm not a part of the government, but it gives me an opportunity to get back into my community and get back closer to my people. And I'm going to take advantage of that. So I want to tell the good people of Georgetown Central you'll be seeing my face a whole lot more so we can build a stronger relationship. But we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks.
Definitely. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, MP and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Bryan.
Thank you so much, Jose.
Okay. We have a few more callers queued up. Let's start grabbing the calls. Which one next, Paul? The WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good afternoon, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Still morning.
Yes, good morning. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Just when it comes to places that are being rented, such as homes or apartments,
mm-hmm.
and when it comes to the deposits that are being paid before the individual or individuals move in case there's some damage to the property or in case they leave without paying their light bill or their water bills.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of complaints with landlords keeping people's deposits without any of these things occurring. And I know personally of a situation where a landlord kept $2,000. So my suggestion to the government is people who are renting places for people to live, apartments or homes, there needs to be a law put in place that they be registered with the government, and that any deposits that are given to the places that are being rented, these deposits need to go to the government. That way, when the individual or individuals are leaving, if there's proof that there's no damage to the property, if there's proof that they have paid their light bill and their water bill, these individuals are able to go to the government and get their deposits back. That way, people will not be finding themselves having problems getting their deposits back from landlords who are not being honest. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for that. While caller was talking, I was looking into there is a legislation passed by the Legislative Assembly on the 19th day of March 2009. At that time, the late Edna Moyle was the Speaker, and it is known as the Residential Tenancies Law 2009, and it is, let's see if first part of it, what it usually talks about, the a law to reform the law relating to residential tenancies, to define the rights and obligations of landlords and tenants of residential premises, to provide for a commissioner to mediate disputes arising between landlords and tenants, to repeal the Landlord and Tenants Law 1998 revision, and for incidental and connected purposes. So I just need to inquire as to whether or not this law is still on the books, still in effect as well. Let's grab another caller from the landline now, Paul. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Doc. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, yes. First of all, the caller's suggestion about government holding deposits is ludicrous. We already have law to cover landlord and tenants activities. That's a civil matter. Government should not be involved into private matters between individuals,
right?
And so forth. I mean, that's after all, we're not a communist country. It's not a communist country. That's all I have to say about that. So, but the caller before you, and the caller before that, who called about the tourists of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
One thing the last caller said was the reason. One of the reasons why people are not coming from that jurisdiction is because the strength of the tourist
the exchange rate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but for information of your listeners, in the 1960s, in the 60s, the tourist facilities here were owned by Canadians. The Villas of the Galleon was one of the places where it was open for tourists to live.
Mm-hmm.
That was owned by the McLeans and from Vancouver, that I know very well.
Mm-hmm.
And the Villas of the Galleon were owned by Rod McLean and his father, the McLean's family.
Yep.
Because I know that because my ex-father-in-law, who was the Royal Bank manager, financed that whole episode for them. I know that. And then the flights were from the Pacific Northwest were organized by a man from Vancouver called Herb McManus. I know him well too. And the flights came in every fortnight. and the flights were mostly from Vancouver and Calgary and all of those places. And remember, that was the rising star, economic star in Canada, where all the money was being made even today. Now you remember there's talk in the Canadian paper news about Alberta wants to secede from Canada. They want to keep their oil money.
Oil, yes.
They do not want to share it with all the Canadians. So you're not going to see tourists from Canada because they can't afford it. It's too expensive here for them. So, and then when Cuba open up their doors, if you look at the investments, most of the investments now are Canadian owned in Cuba. They're going to Cuba where their dollar can stretch further, and they're going to Cuba and the Bahamas, and they're going to Barbados where it's cheaper for tourist facilities. It's too expensive here for them, and the charter flights were organized from the Pacific Northwest, but the charter flights now are too expensive. You're not going to get airlines now doing charter flights from Canada because right now, my grandchildren are trying to get cheaper flights from Vancouver to Toronto to Grand Cayman because they do not really want to go through America because, of all the turmoil there. And it's difficult to get a flight directly from the Pacific Northwest to anywhere down in the Caribbean unless you go into Barbados or unless you go to Jamaica or unless you go into to Bahamas or to Cuba. So it's difficult to entice tourists from the Pacific Northwest, and they're certainly not coming from Toronto to Cayman because they already know how expensive Cayman is. And so you're not going to get a lot of people from Canada coming here as tourists. Like I say, they're going to if you look at the numbers, they're going to Havana, they're going to Cuba, they're going to Barbados, they're going to Jamaica where it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And psychologically for people, anytime you go to a country where your dollar is not worth it, people don't want to go there.
That's true, yeah, yes.
Psychologically. I'm sorry, but I'm not spending any money when I go there. If you tell them, $1 American is worth $4, they will go there, even if the consideration for that $4 that they're getting is not the same.
That's true.
Just psychologically. So I just want to let people know that. People know that.
Okay. Yeah, Doc, thank you very much for that. And we have to get together hopefully next week sometime, even though we got a short week because we have to go over the boundaries report and we want to compare what has been done since 2013 was when we had the first boundary, the first observer mission to Cayman, and we want to go over there, the observer mission reports and everything.
It's very interesting that the Commonwealth observers has zoned in on the rejection of the boundary report that we did last year.
Yes.
And not only that, all the recommendations, they keep making it every year about election financing and all of those things. And I think that those things are worthwhile because they keep coming up, and we keep pushing the can down, kicking the can down
the road. Yep.
And someday it will blow up in our face if we don't solve the problem now and get it done. And I think that they're right about some of those things, and I hope that the new government takes that into consideration and review it and have a public review of it and let's solve it and get on because we don't need to push the can down the road and ignore things that are facing us because that's what happened to us. To some people, they ill, they want to go and they refuse to go to the doctor.
Put it off. Keep putting it off. Yes, yeah.
And then they're putting it off, and then they get too late. And then they say, the transition wasn't any good, the hospital wasn't any good, and they didn't get any good treatment.
Yeah. All right, Doc.
I think we need to talk about those things.
Definitely.
Before the public.
Okay. You have a great weekend, Doc. We'll talk.
Same to you.
Okay. We have a few callers on hold, but we have to take a commercial break first. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superheroes shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts Building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Attention Georgetown residents. The Department of Environmental Health Georgetown Bulk Waste Collection will take place between May 12th to 17th. This bulk waste collection will replace the traditional year-end collection. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it's easily accessible to the DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction or demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the Georgetown Bulk Waste Collection from May 12 to 17, please contact the DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6996.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines again. Paul, I think we still have callers on hold. Yes, we do. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you, Mr. Overseer.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you?
No idea. I was on the line here. Listening to the callers is great interest. And just like to say, first of all, that I had no idea that so many people whose birthdays are in May. Thought it was just myself and a few others.
Okay, and when is yours?
Mine was the 6th.
The 6th? Okay. Happy belated birthday to you.
Yeah, thank you. But related to the fact that the abolition of slavery, the other documents concerning abolition, because slavery was already abolished 10 months before that, was read out on May the 6th, 1835, but where was my mother's great-great-grandparents' house, of course. My mother was actually born here. December 1910. And I see one of my cousins, Malcolm. Of course, he's a generation different from mine. His father, Anthony, and I are the same generation. Mm-hmm. Anthony's father, of course, was my mother's first cousin, and also Jim Bodden, first cousin of cousin Jim. Now, we were yesterday. People were saying, or some people said, they were surprised that the Pope came from the U.S. I was not surprised at all. In fact, if I was a real betting man, I could have made quite a bit of money because I was absolutely certain the Pope was going to come from the United States. That's right. We'd have to look at the political situation of things. A lot of politics are involved. Those things, the same thing with Miss World, Miss Universe, and so forth. Contest. I'm not going to that, and I'm not going to care to anyone to challenge me on that because I stand by what I just said. And I thought from the very beginning, I was absolutely sure that hope would come from the United States, especially after the visit of, I think it was the Secretary of State, visited the late pontiff just shortly before he passed away.
I think the VP, Vice President.
It was the Vice President.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking that at first, and I said, those visits are always with a purpose. That's ever been in the United States. There's always been a purpose to those visits to other countries. It's never done just random. No. A lot of people don't understand the situation that Mr. Trump has found himself in after 2 or 3 very liberal presidents. You've got to understand what happened with President Jimmy Carter when he turned his back on the Shah of Iran and created what is now the monster terrorist country. That's when it happened. I was living in the United States at the time. I remember the terrible fallout from it, so forth. And we see to this day the most powerful terrorist country in the world. And that's what has happened. The lesser of two evils. You must always be able to choose the lesser of two evils. I don't think you'll ever see another liberal president of the United States. I'm pretty certain I stand by that one. Also, you were talking earlier on, and I'm glad to congratulate the young man from East End. I thought he was long made a captain. I was wrong with that. And it should have been a long time. But anyway, we won't go into that. That's another story, another time. We see it often happening. But they're talking about a system of collecting more monies. One of your first callers, I believe, or a long-time caller, Mr. Elvis McKeever, talked about that. And several people have spoken about that also. The reality is that's not going to happen. We're not going to raise the fees for the multi-billionaire investors here. It's just not going to happen. We're going to say we become uncompetitive, we've done to do this, we've done to do that. But we can do what other countries do. We know the people, and you mentioned that, so this is no secret, that the people involved in handling those monies are earning humongous salaries. Humongous salaries. Other countries who are involved in the same business that we are have taxed their salaries. We depend on consumption-based taxation in the main. That means enough is never good enough. You have to have more. It's so simple. A 5-year-old child can understand that. You can never cap it. You have to have more and more and more. When you do it by salary taxes, I think that's what Bermuda has. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've spoken to Bermuda. They have income tax. They're in the same business we're in. Very little manufacturing. What we manufacture is of minuscule comparisons to what we have.
Okay. Caller, I have about 1 minute before I have to go to a commercial break.
What I'm saying is this. If we were to tax those people, it would not affect the big investors. We are taxing them, and they should be paying for that big, humongous money they earn. We can create a system where it's fair to Caymanians. It's been done in the U.S. for the Red Indians. We see that, the indigenous population. We can create a system. It's easy. We have the technocrats, the brains in the government, civil service to do it. We, believe me what I say, we are going to implement some form of direct income tax to ease the burden on the people and to be able to provide some form of welfare system and stop this horrendous health insurance scheme. We can do it. It can be done. And the only answer for that is some form of direct income tax. Lessen the burden on the little man. Have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for your contribution as well. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. We do have one caller on hold, and I have a few WhatsApp messages that I need to share as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. We do have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you? I haven't heard your voice in quite a while.
Right now I'm between fine and excellent.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. We just got a new government that is formed, so I'm quite optimistic about what's going to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping to be very active with this government. Enough said about that, but everything I hear is nothing but positive. People seem to be very, very happy about the change.
Uh-huh.
But let's get more to a positive note. Negativity is a thing that will take you down if you keep believing in it. Or see, when we're talking about the tourism industry, of course, I joined Dr. Mike Field as well, and you probably remember in the 60s when you had the Pacific Western, Air Canada, and other airlines coming in here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You had people coming in would stay a week or whatever, and then the next flight they go back and they'll drop off another group. Can you remember I've been saying going to the airport to take friends back to Canada, and those people were crying, living eye water, because they didn't want to go back. Listen carefully what I'm going to say. I'm not going to be all day. About the tourism industry. Any Caymanian, and I mean indigenous Caymanian or who portrays to be a real Caymanian, if you got a place that you're going to rent, you should consider those people that are coming here from places like Canada that supported us when we were, for the want of a better word, down and out. We can do something very effective in the tourism industry, meaning that we need to show the real Cayman culture, not going into 7 Mile Beach Hotel and, just meeting foreigners that doesn't have a clue what Cayman culture is about. So there's more to say. Probably one day we're going to get on the show soon enough and try to explain what's going to be taking place with Caymanians, because it's good to say you got an apartment and you're getting, so much money. If that's good, but you have to think of the long-term effect. When people cannot afford to come here, that's going to be bad. And we should be the first one that started this thing to pick it up again and say, look, yeah, you can go to Cayman and you're going to find friends there and they're going to treat you nice and your rent is not going to be that expensive. This is what we have to get back in. Because just the same thing about more expensive and complain, no. We have to find an avenue where we can say to the visitor, welcome to Cayman. If you see them on the road and they look stranded, give them a ride. This is Cayman culture. You remember what that was about?
But, caller, we have to be in a position to do that. So unless, the first Caymanians that they will see, we still have that intact, is Customs and Border Control, Immigration and Customs. Possibly some Caymanian taxes as well, right? Then when they get to the front door of the hotel, who do they see then? When they get to the front desk, who do they see then? When they're inquiring about tours, who do they see then? We're talking about immigration. Those are the areas that have to change if you want people to meet Caymanians. Otherwise, you'll have to accidentally meet them on the street or on the beach.
Yeah, you're missing one point. I'm making up the thing that Caymanians that have rental properties, if it's good and clean,
I understand that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have to come on the front line and let the people know you can go to Cayman, to this place, and what's going to cost you. And then that I see would be a big way of encouraging people to come back here. Not like you said, going to the front desk and seeing this lavish, lobby area.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get back down to us and let them know what Caymanians are about.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, thank you so much. So I know my time is limited here.
No, I wasn't rushing you off. I can give you another 2 or 3 minutes because I know you were have been very vocal about, immigration as well. And I was curious to know whether or not you're satisfied with what the government has said. I was reading an article here about an interview that took place at Compass TV, and they pointed out that within the first 100 days that they will do something, about immigration. Is that fast enough for you?
Yeah, while we're going to be robust, it shouldn't be a thing that you're going to just go heavy-handedly. It is something that you have to think thoroughly and clearly and get the situation how we think it should be and how it should be in the Cayman Islands. Immigration is one thing that is kind of out of control, for the want of a better word. We need a lot of things sorted out here, but I'm just speaking about the tourism industry for this morning. And I'll go back to that again. It is so disheartening to see how much that Caymanians was appreciated by foreign visitors years gone by. And here they're so disappointed to see that where's the Caymanians, you know? We have to change this thing. So this is one of the things that I and others intend to do.
Okay. Wish you well in your endeavors in that regard as well. Something, like you said, is sorely needed in Cayman. Thank you.
Yeah, it is too long, far gone that Caymanian has been, you know, the underdogs. And some people coming here don't even know what a real Caymanian is about. And I am here to not to be arrogant, but be proud of our culture, where we come from. And this is what I and others intend to portray.
But I still say that if we don't get the numbers right, as long as you remain and continue to become a minority in your own country, you're going to become less and less visible unless you do something about immigration. And caller, I have to be honest with you, you seem to be dodging that point.
No, hang on. Like I said, one thing at a time. I cannot just smear and go. I want to tell you that immigration will probably be the second on the line in our conversation. How's that?
I believe it needs to be first, because for all, you know, in order for you to affect all of those other things, we have to decide who we want to be here, how many, and for how long.
Exactly. Don't miss the point. We are only in a conversation. As in second conversation, doesn't mean that that's going to be the second thing. The second conversation will be about immigration policies. So just keep it cool. We're gonna do some good things in this country that is far too long overlooked.
Got you. Thank you very much, caller. Look forward to having more of these conversations with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. One of our listeners wrote, and this is about the tenants, landlord, and the residential tenancies law. Person says, Mr. Connor, there has been an amendment to the Residential Tenancies Act for 2 years. The act was modernized in 2009, correctly, as you stated, and was on the shelf for just about 14 years before I pulled it off the site, made some amendments, and submitted it to government, which they accepted, along with implementing some amendments of their own. Person say that they can send me a copy of it, so I will give her a thumbs up. I don't have permission to call the person's name, so I haven't, share that unless I had permission to do that as well. I just want to make sure that we have covered all of the WhatsApp. Oh, wow, we got here. This one, OC, please give a huge congrats to the young man, Captain McLean, from Denward, Ebanks, and the entire Cayman Islands. Give that one a thumbs up for that as well. Going through all of the WhatsApp messages, we try to make sure that we acknowledge everyone who has sent in something. Says, this one says, to all the PPM members, hats off to you all. Sit tight. You all have done an excellent job. Don't move. That ship might get into rough waters, and with all the PPM members, you are all a very good set of captains. Let's go to the next one. This one says, good morning, OC. I stand to differ in regards to Canadians not traveling to the Cayman Islands. I've been traveling twice a year to Canada on Air Canada and WestJet. These flights have been to full capacity, not only to Toronto Airport, but also all international domestic flights are full to capacity as well. I want to thank that listener for that. And this person says, I agree the first priority should be immigration reform, as that affects so many facets of our society and country issues as well. Want to thank that listener for that. And I believe that I have covered all of those folks. I want to thank all of you who participated this morning as well. Don't forget, tomorrow, if you're at A.L. Thompson, you stop at the Hazard Management Cayman, their booth over there, and pick up some paraphernalia in relation to hurricane preparedness, and they will have a raffle there as well. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to where they charge it, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So, folks, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, the People's Radio Station, Radio Cayman. Join me at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore